Give me 1 second. I have a personal message. Okay, Ingrid, like you can go to the MCP Let's Place. I think it's okay. Like if your MC team is like other people are in here.
Ingrid, I will send you the link.
Yeah. Amazing people. So before we get started, this is a planning session. This is a very important session. And I hope you guys are all excited. And I know you're coming from a break. So we are going to do some stretches so that we can energize and we can be back and we can focus on the session. Okay, are you guys ready? So we're going to do a little bit of stretches. You don't have to even get up from your seat. I hope you're sitting down, and then let's do this. I really hope you can see my video.
Can.
Nice.
Okay, for the first exercise, just place your arms behind your head and you're just gonna go up and down through your upper back. So you're just getting some mobility in your thoracic spine.
We see it on the slide, but we don't see it playing.
You don't want to arch your low back.
Okay,
you just want to move from the upper back and mid back area. So try to get those elbows pointed up, but only go through as much motion as you
go
can.
Back? Yeah.
And then for the second exercise.
Okay.
I think it's a bit slow, but now it's playing.
Total, so let's just learn them individually first, and then after that we're going to be showing you a sequence where you can follow with us from home, one after the other. All right, let's get to it. Okay, for the first exercise, just place your arms behind your head and you're just gonna go up and down through your upper back. So you're just getting some mobility in your thoracic spine, which is your upper back. You don't want to arch your low back. You just want to move from the upper back and mid back area. So try to get those elbows pointed up, but only go through as much motion as you can. And then for the second exercise, you're going to bring your arms into a W, and then you're going to press up into a Y, into a letter Y. Stretch it out and then bring it down. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then stretch it up again into a Y, getting a nice stretch in your upper back. And then for the third exercise, you're just going to twist. You're going to place one arm behind the chair. Just going to feel a nice twist in your back. And then once you've done one side, you're going to switch to the other side. So you can place one arm behind the chair and one on the desk. And again, you're just twisting and holding that position. Now for the next one, we're going to place your elbows on your desk. And then you're gonna step your feet out and get into this thoracic mobility stretch. Just feel it in your upper back and tricep area. And for the last exercise, you're gonna place your palms down, walk your feet even more, and feel even a bigger stretch now. All right, so now we're gonna start putting these into a sequence. So just follow with us from home. I'm gonna tell you exactly how long you need to do each exercise for. So let's get started. Place your arms behind your head. You're gonna do the seated upper mobility exercise for 3 reps. So these are 3 slow reps. You don't wanna go too fast. Again, you don't wanna arch your low back. That's very important. So you do this 3 times, and then we're gonna be moving on to the next exercise, which is going to be the W and Y. So bring your arms out and stretch up into a Y. Again, you're just bringing it down. That was 1, and we're going to do 5 of these. That's 2. So stretch it out. Try not to shrug your shoulders as you do this one. Stretch your arms up. Feel a stretch in your spine and your upper back, and then squeeze your shoulder blades on the way down. And just trying to move through this motion. Once you're done, you're gonna twist to one side and you're gonna hold it for 10 seconds. So feel a nice twist in your low back and your upper back as you do this. Just breathe normally. Once you're done one side, you're gonna be moving on to the other side. So right now, switch your hands, grab the other arm behind the chair, Again, you can push away with the other arm to get even an extra twist. And we're holding. Make sure you're breathing. And now we'll come back to face your desk and place both of your elbows down on your desk. You're gonna roll out with your feet and just bring your head in between your hands. You can clasp your hands together as well and just hold it for 20 seconds. You're gonna breathe normally. Make sure you're not arching the low back here. Keep your pelvis tucked in the entire time. All right, and you're just holding this nice stretch in place. After that, just bring your palms on your desk and walk your feet out even more, and you're gonna hold it for another 20 seconds. So this is just a bigger stretch. You should feel it more from your hands all the way down to your hips this time. Again, do not arch your low back. And just holding and breathing nicely. Okay.
Nice. Okay, people. I hope this helped to gain some energy for the session. Why I did this is because the session is important. So I want you guys to focus. I want you guys to listen. I recommend you to keep a notebook and pen with you if you want to keep that, or if you want to like open a tab where you write down notes. So if you have any questions along the way, you can just write them down for yourself, because yeah, then you can ask them when you get the chance, or like you can submit the questions in there. And also, I'm gonna keep my chat open in the site. So if you have any questions, if you don't understand anything, you can also put in the chat. I'll try to answer them. Cool, all good? Are you guys ready for the session? Let me see your faces. Yes. Cool. Amazing. Okay. Good job, people. Yeah. Also, you can, if you are not in a class, I hope you're not in a class, and maybe you can, if you can open your camera, that is also be good. So I can see your face, then I can know like what you're, if you're confused or anything, then yeah, I can maybe like refer back. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, people. People are opening cameras. Look at your beautiful faces. Okay. Nice. Okay, no, we did this. One more. Okay, cool. So let's do a small check into the space. So you can put in the emoji in the chat, like how you're feeling right now, like where you, how do you feel after the exercise? How you feel after the break? Are you feeling super energetic? Do you feel active? Do you feel calm but alert, or tired, or exhausted? How you're feeling? You can put in the chat your emoji, or like you can put in the, just type. Oh, we have super energetic. Nice. Anubhav, good job, bro. How about others? How are you feeling? Oh, nice. Super energetic. Nice. Good job, people. Not having this emoji. Oh, nice. You can copy paste from another person, Jalid, if you want. If not, if you're using a MacBook, the shortcut is Control, Command, and Space. I think so. Yeah, Control, Command, and Space will allow you to get the emoji window. Yeah, Windows plus. Yeah, nice. Fatih, thank you. Calm but alert. We have active. We have blessed. Nice. We have super energetic, calm but alert. Cool. Nice. Good job, peeps. I think this is the, I'm sensing the energy in the room. So I think like you are energetic and excited for the session. And let me feel that energy as well. Okay. I think that will be really helpful. Amazing. So, sorry. Yeah, planning in RPM. So this is what we did in the RPM. If you, so before a couple of weeks, so we had your MCPs with us. We were talking to them about planning onboarding. We were talking about planning support. We were talking about planning simulation. So they went through these kind of sessions. And right now your MCPs are also in a consultation space. We the RMs, and they get the chance to learn about agenda creation, the tools and everything. So most of the time, like this discussion about planning will happen with your MCP or like inside the MC team. So inside in this space as well, right now, what you're trying to do is like mostly we'll follow the similar kind of flow. We'll tell you about the planning tool. You get a chance to explore a little bit. You get a chance to ask your questions. You get a chance to do some simulation. And tomorrow we'll have some spaces to build your capacity that's required for the planning spaces. And then in the last day, we'll do some case study. We'll do some functional case studies. So you get the chance to explore the planning tool as well. So we follow the similar process. But at the same time, this will be more detailed and catered to you as MCVPs, because you are the one who's at the end of the day going to go and fill the planning tools, and you are the one who's going to come up with the planning process, planning output at the end. I can't see my screen to be honest. Yes. So right now you are in onboarding space. So this is how the agenda look like for us today. So we talk about planning context. So we'll talk about like what is planning, like why we are in here, why we are doing this, and what is the end objective that we want to achieve out of planning. And we talk about planning resources, and we give you some time to explore the planning resources with your lovely RMs. You get the chance to work with them. You get the chance to ask your questions from them. And then we'll be like back and we'll be doing a wrap up of the whole space. Okay, so this is how the flow is going to look like. I think like Anubhav, I hear you were sharing in the check-in space today. You're excited about the planning space, as well as you want to know how the project creation and all this stuff going to look like. So setting some expectation regarding this. For this particular space, we're going to talk about the planning tool. We're going to talk about planning process, the planning tool, and how things are going to look like for you in the planning when you go to the planning. So regarding project creation, regarding like what kind of strategies that you need to do, what kind of direction that you're driving, like this will be discussed throughout the summit. Like when you go to your functional spaces, when you talk to your RMs, like you get the chance to see like what are the product direction going to look like. You get the chance to see like what are the strategies that are going to look like, and based on that you can create your own strategies. Also, we have capacity building spaces for you to develop your capacity in project creation, data analysis, and all these things. So that will help you throughout the day. So setting one expectation, like we will not be going in detail to like planning, but we'll be mostly talking about the tools, how to use it, and what kind of knowledge that you need to have before you go to the planning space itself. Cool. Are you guys clear? Yeah, put a thumbs up. Nice. Eco is saying thumbs up. I can see your face. Nice. Alisa saying thumbs up. Piyum saying thumbs up. Nice. Shamik saying thumbs up. Cool. So these are the people on my screen. I can see right now. I can see ABM, Alisa, Eco, Queen, Shamid, Jalid, Neil, Piyum. So I'm going to be looking at your faces to get some reactions, live reactions. Cool. Nice. Good job, people. Okay. Before we start, let's start with this question. Why do we have planning in ISAC? So this is like fundamental question that we need to answer. But before moving forward, I want you to reflect a little bit, because you coming from LCVP, you are maybe LCP before, you are LCVP before, or maybe you are returning as MCVP. So probably you have went through a planning process before. So my question for you is, what is the best planning process you had, planning experience you had so far in ISAC, and what made it the best? So this is my question. Like you can think a little bit about like what are the planning processes that you went through. Maybe you didn't have a planning process which is best for you, which is completely okay. And maybe you can share that as well, why it didn't make it the best for you. But if you had a planning process which is good, then you can share a little bit about it as well. Anyone like to share? Take this space and share about your planning experience.
I can share my experience when I was planning. It was when I became the LCBB team of my LC, and that was the best planning experience I have had in ISAC. Actually, I am more special for other LCBB because I was a team member and I applied for LCBP. Yeah, so I didn't have any before opportunities to plan. It was for LCBB, I have to plan. So that's the very first time. What makes it the best? Because it contains three elements. Why it's the best? Firstly, data. my EB team has a lot of data and figures as well as the observations. So they contribute a lot into our planning process, whether I'm coming from TM or whether I'm coming from other products. They still contribute a lot with me because they have a lot of data and figures for the whole organizations. And secondly, is the synergy between the team among the team together, because we are planning, we are as an LC leader, we are not going to plan for our function only. We need to plan for the whole organization, the whole local branch, local committees. So that is the reason why synergy between this LCV with other LCVs is really important. And lastly is the guidance from the leader, which means my LCP, because she has an overview of the whole local committee, and she know what are the visions of the MC team, a lot like the directions from the MC, and she can cascade those kind of things to the planning, so like we can have a better planning output later on. So to me, that's the best learning, no, best planning ever, because that was the very first time in Isaac. But outside of Isaac, I have a lot of learning to plan and plan, for example, plan for my thesis for all my team project in school, but it's not really professional and not really well organized like the experience I have in LCBB. So that's my sharing.
Nice. Good job, Luis. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you were sharing like key elements in the planning that actually absolutely that need to be there. The guidance, the synergy, as well as the data and the preparation part, which is, I think like it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Luis, for sharing. Okay, so moving forward. Yeah, so I think like if you had like this kind of planning experience and if you're coming to the MC, things are going to be really easy for you, as well as like even if you didn't had like planning experience before, guys, like it's not a difficult process. Like we are going to try to understand like what is the fundamentals behind it, what are the root. So based on that, you can see it in the overall perspective rather than be scared like looking at all the tools and everything. So that's my first expectation. Try to understand the basics, try to understand the fundamentals, like why planning is there, what are we trying to achieve the planning. So what we are providing from our side as the global structure is a guidance, is a tool. Like we provide you recommendation. We say like, okay, if you want to do this is something that you can use in order to do that. But if you have something better, when you understand your fundamental, you see like, oh, maybe like this is not the best tool for me, I can use something else. That's completely fine. That's up to you. You are the one who's making the decision. At the end of the day, we want to try to achieve a good output. As long as you have a good output, then it doesn't matter what tool you use, it doesn't matter like where you're getting it, as long as like you have the good output that you can actually use. So let's try to understand what are the fundamentals behind the planning. So planning is preparation of sequence, like action step to achieve something. So we set the goals, when we apply for the MC team, or when we come to the MC position, you see the entity and you understand, okay, this need to happen in my entity. So in order for achieve that goal, so planning is a process that's going to help you to vision that, create a path, and for you to go through that path, and then it will allow you to follow through during the timeline, and then it will be able to achieve your goal at the end of the day. So this is what we're trying to achieve from planning, right? Planning is like a map, obviously, like it gives you a direction, you know the direction that you want to achieve, and it gives you the path. You create your own path that you want to achieve this direction. And yeah, planning is important to prepare to achieve the goals, as well as sequence of action step, achieving something. So majorly like it consists of action step. That is also something important that you need to understand. It helps to save time and effort and achieve what we want. Talking about when you go to actually implementation, when your term actually starts in 1st of July or 1st of August, according to UIN timeline, you will realize that you actually don't have time to sit down and think. You will be trying to implement, you will try to firefight, you will try to work with your network, you will try to work with your IR partners. There'll be crisis happening all around, and you'll be really focused on your actions. But this will be the only time that you get the chance to like sit down and think about what are the actions that I'm actually going to do. So this is why this planning process is very important. Yeah, planning is like a map. So how do we start this? Like if you think about planning, like when simply things that you can tell you is like you can go to the Google and you can search, oh, what is planning is and what kind of thing that I should plan about. But now it's more complicated, right? With all the things that are happening around us, or we need to think about COVID, we need to think about change management, we need to think about our network, we need to think about our IR partners, we need to think about how I work with regional office, how I work with AI, what is AI direction, and all this stuff. So with all these things, like very complicated. So there are a lot of things that you need to make sure that, of course, like we'll not be able to find this answer from Google. So that's why we try to create this tool that will allow you to give some, that will allow you to have some direction of what are the things that you need to be doing in the next time. There's no one button that like you can press and like make everything okay. I wish there was, but like it's not going to be there. And but thing is, like, what you need to understand is the basic concept. The concept of planning does not change with the outside context that is happening, all the things that are going around. The fundamental concept of the planning does not change. That is what you need to understand. So think in the terms of what you want to achieve when you apply for MCVP. When you write your application, when you look into the entity, maybe you are applying for a particular position, and then you might have think about, oh, this is my entity going to look like, and this is what my function should be look like at the end of my term. This is what I really want to do during my term. Things like this. So you might have thinking about these things. Nice. Minnie also shared in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing, Min. Yes, so you might have thinking about all these things that you want to achieve, right? And then when you come to the MC portion right now, one thing that you need to realize is, oh, what are the resources and capacity of my entity? Example, do I have money in terms of to run this particular project that I want to run? Do I have people with the capacity that I want to do this? Example, if you want to do like huge digital marketing transformation in your entity, do I actually have people with the knowledge of digital marketing? Or do I have actually funds to create this, invest on these platforms? Do I have a method? Do I have partners like who want to work with me in order to implement these particular projects? So these are the questions that should come to your mind. So what are the resources and what are the capacity that your entity has in order for you to achieve your dream? Your MCP had a dream, you also have a dream, like all of you want to achieve these particular things, but then it's going to be limited by the available resources, available capacity of your entity. Then you have to do the compromise. Then you have to understand, oh, how can I connect these two things? Example, how can I connect my resources and capacity of my entity in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve? So this is where the bridging this gap is what we do with the planning process. So it's simple as that. So you have a vision, you have resources, your planning is what you come in the middle and you see how I'm going to bridge this gap in order to achieve my goals with using my resources and capacities and competencies of my entity. So this is what we try to do through the planning process. So whenever you go to planning process and if you are stuck, think about this simple question. Think about, is this something I really want to do? Do I have resources and capacity to do that? If not, then what is my next alternative? What is the next thing that I can do? Should I compromise on my dream? Should I like think about, oh, what is the next step that I can achieve? Maybe like your dream is something that you need to achieve in 5 years, 2 years down the line. Maybe you don't need to do everything this year. Maybe you can do a little bit this year and pass it down to your successor, and they can continue doing it. If you don't have, example, I'm taking the same example. If I really want to do a huge digital marketing transformation in my entity, if I don't have resources to achieve this right now, maybe this year, my goals would be, how can I develop capacity of my membership? And then they will be able to create this transformation next year. How can I make sure there's a good partner who can sponsor us more money so that this money can be invested into creating the platforms that I want to create? So likewise, so this is where you bridging your gaps, and this is where you come to with your dream and understanding your resources. This is a fundamental of planning. This is what you need to understand. Let me tell you a quick story. And yes, nice. Let me tell you a quick story about for myself. So this is what happened. So this is December 2018. I was MCP of ISAC in Sri Lanka for the term 18-19. And in December, we are already done to like half of the term. So we are now in the replanning process. So we want to do the replanning, and we had a chair coming from regional office who tried to facilitate us for replanning. And yeah, we are finishing 6 months of the MC term. And so what was happening is that, so this is my MC team. So what was happening is that so day before replanning start, one of my MCVP resigned, like MCVP GT. She suddenly left the house. She's like, okay, I think I'm done with this position. And so we had, if you don't know the story, we had like we were hosting IC back then. So large amount of resources were allocated for IC. So we had a lot of members working for it. We had a lot of partners working for it. I think we have some of the MCVPs who are here from ISAC in Sri Lanka, who were LCPs or LCVPs back then. We had some people like who we tried to like mobilize more partners. We tried to get more cash flow into like executing the conference. So we had like cash flow issues. We were obviously like trying to manage how to balance our cash flow in terms of paying the salaries, paying the rents, at the same time doing the expenses for the IC. We had drop in exchange, but in the winter. But still things are promising. Like we had good pipeline. We had a lot of people in the approval. We had a lot of people accepted. So we're like, okay, we can do things in the summer. So we are hoping for that. So this is what we are planning. So like our main goal when we went to the replanning process was that mitigate all the risk. So make sure that there are no risks, like all the risks are we plan, and then we have action plan for that, and don't fuck it up, like simple as that. And like make sure that we are actually we can actually achieve the goals that we want to achieve. What happened in a couple of months down the line? And so we want to like have a clear plan for the products. Then we made a clear plan for IC, and we made a clear plan for cash flow management. So everything was planned. And what happened a couple of months down the line, April 2019, like everything went to everything became chaos. So we had Easter attack in tragic incident that happened in the country, and then the whole country was shut down, and all the approvals were broken, and we had to shift the IC to ISAC in India. And then so when that point arrives, like all the things that we planned, we could not execute them anymore. It was a different story. It was different context, like same as the things that was happening to maybe like your predecessors. Like they had their huge plan, and March, April hits, and then the COVID happened, and then they had to change everything, right? So like this uncertainty is like was there, and then again, but again that at that point, our goal became like mitigate all the risk and don't fuck it up. Because thing is like, even at the point, our risk change, our context change, but at the end of the day, our action plan should not have been changed. So we had to do change management plan for the membership of ICCC, like how we can recover the debts, how we can, or what is the operation change management plan going to look like. So these were the other plans that came in. But at the end of the day, the goal didn't change. The goal was actually to make sure the entity is sustainable, to make sure that we will be able to do our operations in the sustainable manner. And fast forwarding this into like March 2020, like March 2020, like when the COVID happens, like I was in the regional office, regional manager, and we had like good strategies, we had solid plans, we were working toward it, and region was performing well, a lot of entities were doing their best, and everything was going really well. And then we had to cancel APC when the COVID hits, and then, but MCPs, and then we had to think about the recovery of the region. So how we can make sure that the region can recover faster, and what are the alternatives that we can do in terms of to recover from the current context that is happening. The goal was keep the network going and recover. So this was the main goal that we want to achieve. So we want to make sure that map all the processes and problems. We monitor the changes, changing the focus of the role in the team, and replanning everything. So at the end of the day, like if you have a goal, if you have people, that's what I said, like when you go to the MC planning process right now, you'll be sitting down with the MC team, you'll be sitting down with the MCP, we'll discuss, okay, what is the goal that I want to achieve? And what are the things that we're going to do in order to achieve these goals in the next year down the line? So this will be the conversation that you're going to have. The context is going to change. You cannot control the context. You cannot change like whatever happening outside. What you can control is what happened inside your house in terms of like your ISAC, like how we can make sure that your ISAC is performing, like how we are pivoting, how we are change managing, how we are adapting to the context. This is what you can actually change. So this is what I want you to focus when you go to the planning process. Sit down and make sure that yes, context is going to change, things are going to change, but at the end of the day, we are going to stick to our plan, or we are going to be agile enough in terms of adapting to the context. Then we will be able to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So this is key message that I want to take forward. If you have the goals and if you have people, you just need direction and resources. So this is what we try to achieve from the planning process. Okay, so if you have not listened to any of the stories that I have been sharing so far, it's okay, completely fine. I was giving context, but from this point onwards, please pay more attention. So we'll talk about the planning process itself. Before moving for the planning process, I want to tell you like how these planning tools are built. So there's a lot of research happening, and there's a lot of validation happen in terms of building these tools that we created. So we check the feedback for the past planning process. So we make sure that we are taking the learning forward. You're replanning, like your predecessors replanning, your predecessors planning and everything. We went through the process and we make sure that all the learnings are being taken forward. We get the input from the AI, RO, MCPs. Feedback was given from the steering team as well. And feedback was given from regional office as well. So like all this feedback was consolidated and then reflected in the planning tool. Main objectives that we want to achieve is that the MC plan, this is very, okay, let me see. Okay, main objective that we want to achieve is that MC planning process based on ISAC 2025 direction and connected to the revenue diversification and entity priorities. So basically, this planning process is connected with the long-term goal of the organization. If you follow this tool, if you follow this process, which means that you're automatically aligning to ISAC 2025. Also, main priority was given to revenue diversification because we know entity sustainability is one of the key challenges that we want to overcome in the upcoming year, which means that your projects or the strategies that you are creating should contribute to generating more revenue or make sure that your entity is sustainable in the operations in the years to come. So this is one of the main objectives that we are trying to achieve through this planning process. The planning framework is provide direction and resources to the entities to prepare, plan, and achieve their goals. So this resource tool will use for that. Okay. One disclaimer that I want to mention in here is that this is an entity planning tool. This is not a recovery planning tool. What is the difference? If you get the chance, if you're MCVP before, or if you get a chance to see like how your predecessors plan, we planned for a recovery planning because we did not understand the context completely. So we had to plan for different scenarios. So there were 4 different scenarios that we take forward. What if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened? And from that, we build different strategies to different scenarios. But right now, we are not doing that. Why? One thing is like we have better understanding about the context of the entity right now, even though things are changing, but we are certain about some things that are going to happen. Example, we know what is the direction of the products going to look like. We know we need to generate revenue. Right now we understand what are the things that we can run in order to generate revenues in terms of EWA, in terms of BD. So these are the certainties that we have right now. So we really don't need to go for like recovery planning or scenario planning. What we can directly go for is like MC planning, or entity planning. That is a major difference. It's okay, you don't need to understand this completely, but you need to understand it's like we will not be talking about different scenarios. The network is not obliged to use all the tools and resources provided. There will be a lot of tabs, a lot of tools. You don't have to use everything. It's completely fine. You can use whatever most suitable for you and then take the best out of it. Okay, the planning flow of 21-22. Okay, so far, any questions before I move forward with this? Are you guys all clear? Do you have any questions? Amy says wave. Gretchen says wave. Okay, all clear. Nice. Nice. Good job, people. Very smart. Okay. Okay, planning flow. Where are we going to start? So this is the planning flow that we are going to follow in the planning process right now. We're going to have team building. So this is where we start. The fundamental is the MC team. You need to make sure that the MC team is, you understand each other's strengths, weaknesses. So we're going to have one block for MC team building. Then we're going to talk about the context analysis. This is for you to understand what is the internal context of the organization as well as external context of your environment. Because your plan should be adapt to all these contexts that is in the that you're facing right now. Then we talk about focus selection. What is your main focus for the entity is going to look like? And we have space for that. And then we're going to set the goals for these focuses that's selected. The focuses can be a GT, EVA, GV, or like BD, or like any kind of focus that you want to do. You select the focus, then we're going to set goals for these focuses. And then in order to achieve these goals, we're going to talk about what are the strategies that we're going to create in order for us to achieve these goals. So that's going to be the next step. And then next part, we'll talk about accountability system. So this is like how in the day-to-day basis, how you keep yourself accountable, your MC team accountable, your network accountable, for you to achieve these strategies or achieve these goals that you set in the beginning. And the last part is going to be network management. You as the MC team will plan, you as the MC team will have a clear idea about everything, but it does not make any sense if the network is not going to implement this. Your LCPs, your LCVP should be onboarded with your planning process. They should understand your planning. They should be able to implement this planning, because whatever you do, it's going to go to the network level, to the LC level. So network management is the last part that we can talk about the planning process. So you'll be able to downscale your planning properly to the network. So pre-planning support. So we have these things for you to get used of. We have MC team structure guideline, which allows your MCPs and your MC team to understand like what are the roles that MC team can play. And then we have MC transition guideline. So this will allow you to get good transition from your MCVPs, your predecessor. So you have the certain knowledge, required knowledge for you to go to the planning process. And then last part, we'll have planning, onboarding, and capacity building, which is going to happen during RFS. And even after RFS, we'll be providing consultation for you in different times. Your products will be talking to you and give you consultation so that you can utilize, you can be at your best in the planning process. So these are the support that we're gonna give from our side. Wrapping it up, everything that I mentioned so far, I'm gonna wrap this so that everything is summarized. To keep in mind, it's an entity planning process, not a recovery planning process. Based on the entity priorities and revenue diversification, this is going to be the main focus that's given in the planning. Output expected is like operation focus, revenue distribution, goal setting, and strategies. So the main output that we're expecting from our side. But of course, like if you need to go in more detail when you go to the planning process. To support, we have team building, context analysis, accountability, and network management. So these are going to be supporting you in order to achieve your planning. Yeah, so this is how, this is the whole summary that I was talking about so far. Nice. 57. Okay, I'm gonna explain the next part, and before moving to the planning tool, I'm gonna give you a quick brain break, so you'll be able to like unload a little bit and check get a quick break. But let me finish the next planning small part next, and then we can go to the break. So planning process will have three parts. So we have planning preparation, planning delivery, and planning output. What is planning preparation? Planning preparation is all the resources like that you need to do, like the things that you need to prepare before you go to the planning process. Luis was mentioning in the sharing that he was doing in the beginning, right? He was talking about how there was data, how there was information that you were able to use for the planning process. This is going to be the same situation for you when you go to the MC planning. When you go and sit down in the MC planning, if you don't have the data, if you don't have the context, if you don't know like what your members are thinking, if you don't know what is your stakeholders are thinking, if you don't know what is the plans of your government, plans of your market, then you will be creating plans. You can still create plans, no problem. You are smart. You came from LC, you have experience, you know how things going to look like. Based on that, you can create your plan. Not going to be a problem. But when you try to execute it in 2 or 3 months, you will try to realize, oh, maybe like my members really don't want this. Maybe this education content that I'm trying to deliver for my membership, they actually don't necessarily need it at this point right now. That happened because you actually have not had that idea when you come to the planning process. So to avoid that, we are going to have planning preparation. The planning preparation is going to allow you to understand the context of your entity and create better strategies for your entity to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And we have planning preparation framework in here. Okay. So I talk about this thing, I'm going to stop here. Planning preparation, planning delivery, planning output. We can start with the planning preparation part next. But before that, I want to take 5 minutes break. I'm going to play a roll call, take 5 minutes break and come back, take some water, stretch, stand up and come back. Then we'll be able to start with the other part. Okay. You have 5 minutes. Yeah, I hope you're back. If you're not, if your MCVPs are missing, if your friend is missing, please text them and make sure that they are back. And if you're back, maybe you can open your camera and also you can type in the chat that you're back. Yes, back. Nice, good job, people. Really on time. I'm super happy about this dedication. Okay, cool. Nice. So we talk about, so far we talk about the why planning is important and what are things that we're going to be in the planning process. And then we talk about the 3 parts, which is the planning preparation, planning delivery, and planning output. So we are going to talk about the planning preparation right now. So planning preparation, we talk about why planning preparation is important and why you should be committing to that. And so what you're going to do right now, and we are going to look into the planning preparation tool. I'm going to quickly explain to you what planning preparation, what's in there for us. I'm going to send you this link. If it is more comfortable for you to follow with me in the planning, in the tool, you can do that. If you are more comfortable into listening to me first and then exploring by yourself, you can do that as well. But either way, I'm going to give you time later in the session for you to explore all the tools by yourself. So even if you're not doing it right now, that's completely okay. Also, you can come back to the recording and you can listen to what I was saying anytime that you want. Okay, cool. So the first link that I sent you, this is the planning preparation tool. So we have 3 parts: planning preparation, planning delivery, planning output. So we are going to talk about the planning preparation. You can see it here. It says planning preparation tool and make a copy. So your MCP has already made a copy for you. I'll tell you where you can find it. And then first, let me take you through the planning preparation part. So planning preparation, this is a basic that you need to understand. If the color is gray, don't touch it. Why? Because it's automatic. If it is yellow, go on, touch it. You can do anything that you want to do. For products, if you don't run it, if you don't run any particular product, example, if you're not running GB, just hide the sheet, don't delete the sheet. Never delete anything in the tool. If you delete it, it's going to affect the formulas and everything. So please don't delete anything. If you're keeping it, use it. If you're not using it, hide it. No matter what, only hide or use it. Don't delete. Yeah, that's the only thing. So this is the template agenda. So this is an example agenda that we provide from our side that you can use in the planning process itself. So when you go to the planning process, you will have this, you see this agenda, your MCP will be customizing this according to your entity reality, entity requirement. But this is only template, and you can also read what are the expected outcome of all of these spaces. Like what are we expecting from the MCT building, what are we expecting from the context analysis, what are we expecting from the focus selection, what are we expecting from the goal setting, like things like that. You can see an expected outcome. This will help you to benchmark the things that you're doing. This will help you to understand, oh, whether I'm doing this and whether I'll be able to achieve the outcome that I want to achieve out of that. So this is something that you can refer as well. This is your MCP's working sheet. Don't touch it. Like, yeah, if you want something from me, just talk to your MCP. And this is more like the tools, is more like presentations and more like a preparation part that your MCP need to do. So you don't need to do anything about it. So this is self-assessment for you. So this is more like, so there's a test that there are different like tests, that personality tests that you can take, MBTI, Gallup, or maybe you can take like DISC or anything that maybe this kind of things. You can put the information in here, which allows you to, which will allow you to understand each other in the team. So this is the first part. So this is the external context. So this is external context is defined through the Pestle. Pestle is the best tool that out there, I mean, for us to use. There are other tools that you can of course use, but thing is like, I think Pestle gives us more holistic understanding regarding how the things are going to look like. So this is the Pestle part that you need to fill before coming to the planning process. And then we have internal context. Internal context, best thing to do internal context is sort. I think you probably have used a sort. Sort will give you an understanding about the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But at the same time, when you combine it with a 7S, for McKinsey 7S give you more like a structural understanding about overall organization or whole entity. You can combine it. You can see like we are basing this based on McKinsey 7S. And if you want to like read about this, there's a links, you can go and read about it. Okay, I don't want to read about it now. I'm sorry that I clicked this. So this divided into human resources is divided into what is the next one? Finance as well as operation. So you can divide this accordingly, and then you can do a more internal analysis based on this. And then we have next one, OGTA context. So this is, you see this here, if you're OGT VP, this is for you, you need to duplicate this per work field. Example, for IT, it's 1 tab. It's BA marketing 1 tab, or BA 1 tab, marketing 1 tab, engineering 1 tab. So based on your work field, you need to divide this. So this will give you like, you will be able to understand how the exchanges will look like in the past years, and that funnel, and this analyzing the funnel, and based on this you will get the graphs. Based on this you will understand the process, like this is so this is process time. You'll get understanding about this. And then in here we have like more qualitative understanding regarding like what went well, even better if, like what are the takeaways that you need to take forward for the planning process. Nice. And then so this is after you duplicate this for different fields, right? So example, you will have OGTA BA, OGTA marketing, OGTA engineering, OGTA whatever other. So after you do that, you need to consolidate this into this sheet. So you can consolidate all the numbers into here. So you will see an overall picture of OGTA when you go to the planning. So this is the first part. And this is for OGTA, it's the same thing, duplicate for the field, and then consolidate this into 1 tab. So this is one preparation. OGTE is the same thing. You don't need to duplicate for this because there's only one thing. And IGTE is the same thing. Something different that we have for is GV. Why GV is different? Because you need to do the risk assessment. GV has a risk assessment that you're doing right now. You have seen the tools. If you're GV VP, you should have seen the tool. You should get this from your predecessor. Make sure that you're doing it. So this part is also something you need to do as a preparation. Understand your entity in terms of the risk factors, and then make sure that you have fill in this. Then you have understanding about what are the things that I can do for GV in the next 6 months or next 1 year. Because we know like until March, GVs, we cannot do realization, we cannot do new approvals, we cannot do new realizations. So you need to have understanding, okay, what I'm going to do for GV. And it's basically going to be risk assessment, risk mitigation, as well as the change management. So this will help you to get that context understanding regarding this. And then we have planning tool for EVA. So this is something we didn't have before. This is a preparation for EWA. If you're EWA CVP, or if you're like managing EWA as part of your JD, then this tool for you. This gives you understanding about sales funnel. Because EWA, one thing that we are trying to understand is the revenue. And then we have 2 matrices for EWA, revenue and people engaged, right? So like then we're doing the analysis here for the revenue part. And then we are doing the analysis here for the people engaged part. So this is another preparation that you can do if you are EWA VP. Don't worry, you get a chance to go through these tools if you fancy. Yeah, nice. Then we go for BD. BD, so this is for the sales funnel. You can also do the analysis for sales funnel if you're BD VP. I think you're supposed to be here in this session. Yes, and then you can do the sales funnels analysis. This will give you understanding about how the sales funnel look like. And also BD, you have account analysis as well. You can do an 7S as well as sort for your accounts. So you can pick your major accounts and you can do the preparation for this one. This is for TM. I think in TM people, you will get to know about these tools in your TM track by me, and then you will get the chance to see like do the analysis for the TM part. So this is most like getting the numbers for the membership that had so far. And if you're OD, there's OD sheet as well. So this is more qualitative analysis. So you can, from the OD model, this will be like, you can get the chance to analyze the OD situation of your entity and LC situations as well. Then you can prepare that for the planning process. This is for the finance people. They are not in here. They are learning about this right now in the planning. They are planning. Sorry, their summit. If you're marketing VP, your marketing VP marketing also have a tool for you right now for this year. So you can also analyze your funnel. You can analyze your sources, like where's your leads are coming from, and where's your signups and everything is coming from. And you can analyze your persona. How's the different personas, like what are the results that you have generated from different personas. This is also something you can analyze, and based on age, based on gender, based on marketing campaign wise, you can analyze based on different aspects, which allow you to get an understanding what happened in the last years in your entity. So these are operation resources. So how much resources that you have for each of these operations in your entity. So which allow you to understand remember we talk about the resources capacity part in the beginning. This will allow you to understand the resources that you have in your entity for your function. That will allow you to make the decisions in the planning process. This is for the timeline. So you can put a timeline for your function that will help you to understand like when things should be implemented in the planning process. This is network empathy mapping. So you can do like a empathy mapping for your network for LCPs, LCVPs, which allow you to understand like what are the current state of mind of your network, and based on that you can create your strategies. And then this one is the network management. So how's your functional newsletter look like, how's your network calls look like, how's your summit look like. So you can able to understand how these things look like in the past year. That will give you an understanding about what are the things that need to change in the next year for your time. So looking at the overall tool, this is all that we have in the tool. But you can see this, looking at the overall tool, this gives you a like, if you can fill this, if you were able to do your research, if you can fill this, this will give you an holistic understanding about your function, about your entity. Then it will be much easier for you to make the decisions when you go to the planning process. So this is a suggestion from our side. This is something that you can use. So this is the planning preparation tool. Okay, let me check the time. Oh, okay, I'm a little bit behind. Okay, I'm going to go to the next part, which is the planning tool. So this is we talk about planning preparation tool. Next one is the planning tool itself. So where are you planning? Second, you can see the link in here. This is the link. Let me add this to the chat. Thank you, Abian, for the time. 28 minutes. Okay, it's not enough. Anyway, let me try my best. Okay, this is my planning tool. Not my planning tool. This is your planning tool. This is a planning tool that you're going to be using. So you see here, like we have the same thing. Like you can see, like if you go to the first tab, we talk about like what are the planning tools. It's the same instructions. So this is where you submit your goals. You will be able to see like there are different forms that you can use to submit the goals. And then this is the agenda. And then we talk about, you have one block for the team identity. So you can put your team mission, team stand, and everything that's going to happen in your MC planning process. This is the context conclusion. When you fill your context in the planning preparation tool, you can bring it here as a summary, like all the summary out of it, you can bring it here. Then you will have a space to define your operation focus. You can, based on different areas, you can evaluate how the things are going to look like. And then this is for the OGTA goal setting and strategy. You can see like based on the goals that you, based on the funnel that you created in there, you will be able to set your goals in here, as well as you can you can, okay, you can expand these things, and you can see like different work fields. You'll be able to like set the goals. And also for this one, I think, yeah, so like you see, like we have BA, BD in here, marketing, and then finance, and like all the fields are here. So whatever the thing that you use, you can use it, and things that you don't use, you don't have to fill them. So this is OGT S&D tool, and you'll be able to fill your IR partners, and you'll be able to see your LC distribution as well. So this is for OGTA strategy consolidation. So based on the goals that you set, you'll be able to set your strategies, and you'll be able to work on this. So this is IGTA, same process, same thing as OGTA. I'm not going to go through it. OGTE, same thing, same like OGTA. It's divided based on the short term, medium term, and long term. So this is something that you can set the goals based on that. And then you have the S&D tool for OGTA as well. OGT, strategy, then IGT, goal setting, S&D, asset distribution, and then strategy. And then we have GV. GV only difference is there's a planning for risk management, risk mitigation, as well as change management planning. You'll be able to like plan based on this. You can build your strategies based on the things that you want to do, your risk mitigation, as well as change management that you want to achieve in here. So we also have S&D, asset distribution, IGV, same thing. You have risk mitigation. That's why it's different. So OGV, sorry. Then we go for EWA. EWA also you can set your goals for the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 based on the funnel. This is for the revenue. And then you can set the goals for like based on your EVA initiatives. You'll be able to set your different initiatives and you set goals based on that. And then, you can put different accounts, like what is the account and like what is the initiative. And based on that, you will be able to set goals for that. So where the revenue is going to come from. And you can also plan for the EVA initiatives. This is revenue recognized. And then you'll be able to plan for the partners involved, people. And you'll be able to plan for like different, your youth goal as well. So this is for EVA. This is EVA setting for the youth. So this is for the partner, this is for the youth. You'll be able to set your goals for the partners and for the youth. And we have EVA event design canvas. So this is for you to like, this EVA doesn't have strategy per se, but it's more like event. So because that's mostly what you're going to be working on in EWA. So this is something you can use. BD also has the same thing. And then it's about accounts, it's about sales funnel, how you set the goals for this. And then BD strategies, you can also plan for the BD strategies in here. And then we have TM. TM, you have membership funnel. People are learning about, you will be able to learn about this in the TM track. Then we have marketing goal setting and marketing strategies. You'll be able to set your goals in here based on the funnel. Then we have finance. Finance has like debt repayment, and if you are entity in debt, you need to like, this will allow you to create your debt repayment plan and savings plans as well. And then finance strategies. Finance, mostly you have your budget. So this is something that people are learning in the finance summit. For the OD, you'll be able to plan for OD as well. OD model, LC performance, different things, OD strategies. And then you'll be able to plan for timeline. In here, you'll see like this is the global timeline. You can refer this when you're planning for your own timeline. This is GTA, GTE, like this is what are going to happen in the global level. So you can use this as a reference when you're planning your own timeline in your entity. This is change management tool. We are using Switch. You can use a change management tool in order to drive the major changes that you want to happen in your entity. This is change management plan and communication. And you talk about team synergies. You'll be able to talk about synergies. And then we talk about network management. And network management planning also can be happening here. Your MC services, your network calls, newsletters, one-to-ones, and these things you'll be able to plan in here as well. Then we have team accountability routines. And that will be it. So this will be your planning tool. So the agenda is planned for like 5 days. If you see it, if you're already in the tool, you can see the template agenda. It's 1, 2, 3, planned for 5 days. So during this 5 days period of time, you'll be using different tools in order to finalize your planning output. Amazing. So what's the time? 24. Cool. I wanted to give more time before I go to planning output part. I think like I'm going to give you time to explore these two tools, planning preparation and planning worksheet itself. So I'm going to send you guys in the breakout rooms right now. ABM, can you help me with the breakout rooms? So you'll be in the breakout room BDGT, and then marketing and GV, and then EVA and TM. So you will have your respective RMs in these breakout rooms. You can directly ask questions from them. I think you have the links already. If you want to access the PPT, this is the PPT link. Copy this. There's nothing actually in the PPT, so you don't have to, but Yes, IBM, can you open the breakout room? You can select the breakout rooms. I'll give you around 50. I'll give you 10 minutes to go to the breakout room, explore the 2 tools, and come back. Cool. Nice. Okay, how is it? Like, do you guys get the chance to go through the tool? Are you confusing? Amy says good. Are you confused? If you wish to have more time, amazing. Don't worry. Obviously, you can explore things by yourself, and I'm going to tell you like what is your call to action. In terms of the how you can submit more questions and where are the other touch points that we're going to have to discuss this. Don't worry, this is just an introduction, and we are going to talk about the I'm going to show you the last tool, which is the planning submission. So this is what you need to do when you finish your planning. When you go to this folder, so this is your folder. When you go here, you will already see don't worry, yes. When you go to here, you will already see like your MCPs. If you go here, this will lead to this one. If you go to AP, you see like your MCPs already create a folder for you. So which means that your MCPs has duplicate this tool, and they should have this. They should have the tools inside. So you can already go there. You can already explore like these tools. Okay, that's a very bad example. Give me a second. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so you see like the 3 tools that they need to make a copy and they need to put it here. So make sure that you have this. And yeah, if they haven't done it, it's okay. You can just make sure that you go here and then you make a duplicate out of this, and then you move it into the your own folder. So the last part is planning output. I haven't really opened this. Okay. Sorry, after you're done with your planning, what you need to do is like you need to make sure that the key information is copy paste into here. So what we're going to do is like as a regional office, we're going to go through your planning and we are going to give you feedback to your planning. All the feedback will be consolidated in here. So what you need to do is like your planning, final thing that you should have is your individual JD. When you have your planning done, your projects and everything, it should reflect on your individual JD, which means that you already know like what as an individual, what are the things that I need to be doing. So these are the tracking tools that you can actually use throughout the MC term. And then if you copy paste, you need to copy paste. This is not connected, which means that if you updated your other tool, it's not going to update in here. Like that doesn't happen. But obviously, like if you are good at sheets, you can, that's something you can do. Like that's not a hard task to do, but that's something you can do, but that's not a problem. But yeah, you can copy paste things into here. And then this is how you'll be able to like understand, you'll be able to track your goals throughout the term. And then you can put your strategies in here as well. Let me see. Yeah, so this is all the if you go here, you can put your strategies, like what you're doing, like what are the things that you are planning to do, your strategies and everything. You can consolidate into here. And then we'll be able to give feedback from the regional office side. We are going to go through one by one, all of your planning. We're going to give you feedback and make sure that this is we'll be able to, then you can able to edit your planning based on the feedback. Also, you need to like submit your goals, the goals that you created. The exchange goal will be submitted in the expo, so we can submit direct to them on expo. And then other goals like BD and MXP, you need to submit through the form. So this is also something that you need to do after planning is done. So this is the last part. Don't worry about it right now. What you need to be worrying about right now is the planning preparation. Because as you see, it's not something that you can do in one day. Like if you're planning to do, oh, tomorrow is my planning and I need to do planning preparation today, bro, that's not going to happen. Because thing is like, it's a lot. You need to do a lot of research. You need to talk to your predecessors, your stakeholders. You need to go to Expo and get the data. You need to go to DAL files and extract the data out of it. So these things that you need to do. So yeah, like this is something, this is a folder that you can already check. And here there's a lot of resources. This is mostly used by MCPs. You just need to like focus on the planning tools. Yeah, you can go to the planning tool folder and explore it. And you can ask questions in here. So the links that we have been using so far, like if you have any questions, if when you go through the tool, if you have any questions, you'll be able to go to this link and you can ask the questions through this form. I'm gonna copy this once again. And I'm gonna put it here. So you can ask all of your questions in here and all the answers will be given in this link. All the answers will be in here. So you can go there and let's check it out. Give it a couple of days. You might not see like immediate answer, but like if you have any questions, just please make sure that you're asking this, or you can directly approach your RM directly. No issues. Your RMs are already there. Like they are willing to help you out. And also we are planning to run different consultations. Like right now, your MCPs had a consultation about the planning tool and they getting more information. You also get more information through your RMs after RFS. So don't worry, there'll be a lot of support. You don't have to worry about anything. And then you'll be able to get it done. So yeah, this is, if you're MCVP, like what are these things that you need to be worrying about. Ensure the preparation is done before the planning start. As I said, you cannot do it in one day. That's not going to happen. Ask questions from AI and RO about direction, if your function, and make sure you're understanding what is going to happen in the next year. If you're not clear about anything, guys, book them, like go to their calendar, book them, talk to them and make sure that you're arranging a meeting. Like talk to them, it's fine, it's completely okay. That is what our JD is. That is what we do. We need to like talk to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Talk to your network, predecessors, IR partners, stakeholders about direction of your function of your entity, like how they perceive your function, how you perceive your entity, and how we can work with them. Make sure that you complete your planning and upload for RO feedback. Then we'll be able to give you feedback. Wait for our feedback, then implement the feedback. Then you can submit the goals and you can submit the final. You will have final version of your planning. Yes. Yeah. The goals. The deadline is by July, so don't worry. It's July, mid of July. So you need to submit the goals. Like it's no rush right now. To keep in your mind, don't leave the planning, prepare in the last minute, explore all the resources. It is important to understand the direction. Ask questions, clarify everything you need to know for the planning before you start preparing for it. Adapt it to your reality. You should not be copy and pasting, but customize this tool for use for the planning. Approach the regional office for questions, support, planning, delivery, customization, etc. They are here to support for the journey. So important links, all the links are here. You can access them directly if you have the access to the PPT. If you are a pilot entity for VPP, there's a VPP planning tool, which is something different. And then Connie will be directly working with you on this. So the next planning space will be this one, the support, which is going to happen tomorrow. This will allow you to, we'll talk about some capacity that you need to develop in terms of when you go to the planning process. Yes, guys. So the next session is dinner and then functional tracks. So you can, I think like I'm on time. I'm on time. Okay, cool. So this will be the end of the planning one. So this is just a summary. This is an introduction. Don't worry if you don't understand everything completely. It's okay. There are two more planning spaces that are going to happen. And then from after that, we can explore a little bit more and we can ask more questions. Amazing. So that's it from my side, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you so much, Isuru.